Sports. Olympians carrying the torch, going where they don't go, we ain't lost. From the optics to the topics, we got this with synopsis. Think outside the boxes like Jay on the mic, or your boy K-Witt. Joe is my coach, T-Sweat on the mix. All sports, even if you catch fish like Nate Diaz catches fist. You need to catch this episode, it's a can't miss. We go live and you should subscribe and X's and O's. We made our plan, yo, 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 yo.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome. Now I know you're having a great time. You're listening to Freddie Coleman and Harry Douglas, and out of nowhere pots in some strangers. I want you to get to know us, ladies, man. Duval County, Clay County, what it do? We see you. St. Augustine, what it do? Middleburg, but it's the guys from RecRoom Sports. That's right. RecRoom Sports crew is in the building today. We're going to bring you some special programming. Now, of course, as you hear my voice, I want you to know, man, I'm your boy K-Witt, your mama's #1 draft pick. And yes, we're practicing eating healthier in 2026. But of course, man, I didn't come by myself. I got the gang with me today, and I want to make sure I get all of the intros right because you know how it is, man. First times mean a lot, and this intro's got to be done correctly. So my guys are going to come in the building one time for the homies from RecRoom Sports. We got Cleveland's own, but Las Vegas is home. That's right. Everybody make some noise for Bobby G. Bobby G, what it do?
What's happening? You know, putting on for that Network 216, for that Audible Sport podcast, and for Game Time 216. Shout out to the OHIO.
Hey, man, that's right, Bobby G, man. Appreciate you being in the building like always. And, of course, my brother from another mother, straight out of the Carolina, well, technically by way of New York City, we got my boy Jay the MIC. Jay, what it do?
We good here. We're good here. All good, man. All good, man. Welcome, everybody, man. Appreciate you.
Hey, of course. Now, you're listening to me right now on ESPN 690. We are live on the air. Now, I know some of you are in your cars, so please don't do what I'm about to say. But if you are in a stable place, get on YouTube. That's right. On YouTube, type in that's THEE, RecRoom Sports Hub, and you will see us there. You can click on the link and then follow us and watch us live today as we do our thing. Now, I know this is an inaugural run, but somehow we got to get it all in. We got a couple of things to talk about today. You know what's going on. Last week or so, the Combine has been going crazy. You know, everybody knows what it is. The Underwear Olympics, it's happening right now live. And, of course, Jacksonville, we're somewhere in the hunt. We got to worry about who we're going to draft to. You know, shout out to my boy Trevor Lawrence. You know, we got to make sure we protect him, but we'll get into that a little bit later. And then somewhere in the building, we got a guy we're going to bring in, my guy, Tanner Dawson. Tanner, what it do? We're definitely going to do some sports betting today and make sure you're aware of what you're going to do with the Lock It In crew. And then on the back end, we got one of my brothers, Nick Botkins, going to do a little bit of that UFC 326 preview. That's right. The main and the co-main is going to be going live when we talk about the BMF title match. Now, I know if you like UFC like I do, that BMF belt means some people think it's not a real belt, but I think it's a real belt. And then, of course, we're going to get in a little bit of free agency. Who is going where? Is your favorite player going to be traded? Is your favorite quarterback going to get some backup? Are we going to keep a running back on the squad? We're going to get into all of that today. Now, once again, guys, if you are currently in your cars, make sure you turn us up, and we're going to go ahead and get right into it. So, you know, of course, we got some recent headlines, some things that really took place that we got to talk about. And first and foremost, we're going to say a solemn, somber goodbye to a figurehead of college football, and that is Lou Holtz. That's right, ladies and gentlemen, Lou Holtz passed away at the age of 89, which is, you know, he was here. He meant a lot to the game of football. If you don't know, he was a coach at Notre Dame from 86 until 96. That was pretty much his glory years. And he won that national title in 1988. He took over the University of South Carolina for like a couple years from 99 to 2004. Really left his mark on the program. He had a couple other stops if you're thinking about Lou Holtz that you might not be aware of, but he also got a chance to do coaching at William & Mary, North Carolina State, Arkansas. He had a little bit of time with the New York Jets, but for the most part, we remember him from his time at Notre Dame, and also the parody that Pat McAfee does. Y'all know Pat McAfee got the guy that does all the voices. That's how Lou Holtz was still relevant on College Game Day. So somber goodbye to Lou Holtz. And of course, we're going to focus on his championship accomplishments, his ability to turn programs around, and the reputation as one of college football's greatest motivators and personalities. So once again, big shout out to Lou Holtz. You will be remembered. And then moving forward, some great news. Fellas, y'all know it's Women's History Month, right? Some ladies made some history. Undisputed. That's right. The Women's Half-Court Basketball League, the semifinals game sold out the Barclays Arena. The unrivaled semifinals game featured fierce competition. The biggest headline was pretty much the Miss ended up breaking down Phantom BC. The final score was like 80-74. In the end, the Miss are now the undisputed champions. That's right. The atmosphere was electric in Barclays. 18,261 total people packed the house. Fans and media, everybody was there. It wasn't just the basketball players. It was everybody you could imagine. Movie stars, Spike Lee, your mama's best friend. They were all there. And somewhere in what I'm thinking about right now, I would be remiss to think that if they could fill up the Barclays, what else can these women do? And then last but not least, you guys know what's going on. If you're into everything like I am, the World Basketball Classic is happening right now. It's March. It's in full swing. Tokyo, San Juan, and Miami. That's right, Miami. Team USA just had a World Baseball Classic. Aaron Judge stood out, of course, with his opening speech. You know, he's Captain America. So we got to give a little bit of love to Aaron Judge. But on the team, you got guys like Bryce Harper, Paul Goldsmith, Bobby Witt Jr., the Cy Young winners, Scooble, and Paul Skeens. I mean, it's a lineup to be reckoned with when you're talking about America and baseball. But, of course, we got to make sure we keep our eyes on that going forward. But it is March, ladies and gentlemen. I would be remiss to not bring that up. This is one of those times of the year that everybody gets locked in. Everybody makes sure they're getting their brackets right. But this week right here, the ACC, the Big Ten, SEC, and the Pac-12 are all getting ready. Both men and women's are battling out for those automatic bids for the tournament. On the men's side, you know what it is, man. The regular blue bloods. Duke, Kansas coming in hot. We got Gonzaga on the back end, Houston on the back end. And then for the women, you already know what time it is. Carolina's women, UConn, Stanford, all of the big names are ready to attack March Madness. Fellas, all of these headlines, I know that there's a couple things that really jump out at you. Jay, when we talk about what we normally do on the RecRoom Sports Show, we got a chance to kind of dive into that women's basketball dynamic, right?
Right, man. You know, we was talking about, you know, Barclays being a packed house and as much attention they've been getting, how successful the league has been. You know, you start to really think about that CBA real hard. You know, like, what does it take? You know, I don't know, you could see if someone can start their own league and get this type of following. You should think, you know, hey, we need to get something going before they take over they have their own league. They're bringing their own income. They're bringing their own dollars, you know, so that should be almost some type of discussion where they have the platform, they have the following, they have everything going on. Like, what do you want? You know, when we're talking about the WNBA players, like, what do we need to make this happen? So yeah, I'm ecstatic to how it ended. You know, how everything was taken off. I think Breanna Stewart just had a interview on on the show on ESPN on NBA Today, and they were prepared to strike. They're prepared for a strike. But they want to make things happen. They don't want one. So I'm pretty I'm sort of optimistic, but you have to, again, this has gone too far. They're not asking for much if you really look at it. I really think that, hey, some people like to see more in the green. I think when it comes to the WNBA, they want to see more green than they should be thinking right now. Yep.
Most definitely. In terms of what we think is going to be prepping them for the CBA discussions will be taking place shortly. Bobby G, I see you. I know you want to do something. Guess what, guys? We're going to go to a short break. We'll be back. Thanks for tuning in. We are live in the Anajar Levine Studios right here with the Rec Room Sports crew. We'll be back. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yeah, of course. We know there's a couple things going on, but that's what happens when you're working in radio and you're working live. But we still appreciate you for hanging with us right here in the Anajon Levine studios. It's ESPN 690. It's a trial run of the Rec Room Sports Show right now. We know, ladies and gentlemen, and we appreciate you for making us aware that there's a little bit of feedback. But don't worry, we got our good technicians here in the office working diligently to clear up the issue. But right now, we're going to go ahead and get into it. But before I do, I got to make sure you guys know Unique Trends and Styles is our official sponsor, okay? So pull up to Unique Trends and Style Barbershop, 266 Blandon Boulevard, Suite 8 in Orange Park. That's right, where every cut is customized and every texture is welcome. You need your locks or wicks done. What's going on, Sheree? They've got a professional loctician in the house. Kids can chill and play in the play area. Grown folks can vibe and kick it in the rain room. Everybody leaves looking sharp, and every cut is unique to you. Unique Trends and Styles. Enter a customer and return as family. That's what I talk about. That's a live read, echo or not. Anyway, what it is we gonna do, guys, is get right into it. We were in the middle of having a quick conversation about the combine. Everybody knows we're going to Indianapolis. We're right there. 40 times are one of the largest metrics used to pretty much gauge where your favorite college player is going. And somehow, some way, we got three, not one, not two, but three players who actually ran under a 3.3. Now, I don't know if y'all ever seen that moment, like when you wake up in the middle of the night and you try to like jet to the bathroom. Like, I can make that in about a 3.2. I'm quick, okay? I can't like reflexes in the middle of the dark, making it to the bathroom. That's me. But in real life, somehow, some way, these are some of the athletes that we have to make sure we recognize, and it's crazy. So, of course, Bobby G, when you are thinking about this year's combine, 2026, what stood out to you, my brother?
It was excellent. As a Browns fan, I had my eyes in particular on the offensive line. We need an offensive line. There's no secret in that. We also need a weapon on the outside. So, taking a peek at the wide receiver class, which is not as deep as it has been in years, but it's more top heavy. Would you say? Top heavy. You got the three main guys at the top: Makai Lemon, Jordan Tyson. His brother plays for my Cavs, so I get the names confused, and then Carnell Tate. Now, Carnell Tate, a lot of people say they're disappointed in his time. He only ran a 4.5. I say, why? That was his previous. And coming into college, he was a 4.5 guy. His strength isn't his speed. His strength is in his route running, his ability to high point the ball, his ability to go over the middle, catch the ball in traffic, and win those one-on-one matchups on the outside. So, for everybody who's disappointed and thinks he may drop in the draft because of that 4.5 40 time, you're crazy. He's still technically one of the probably the most technically sound receiver in this draft class, and he should still be the first receiver taken off the board. That being said, like I said, I was looking at the linemen who have kind of fluctuated, and this combine is weird because you have a lot of the linemen at the top of the draft are right tackles. You usually see the left tackle. That's the premier position, right? Those are the guys but in this class, your top three tackles all come off the right side or may even move to guard. There's a lot of talk about Francois Mainoa being placed at guard, perhaps Fano as well, Spencer Fano out of Utah. So your top left tackle, who actually had an amazing combine and really, really rose from late 20s to now, he could be potentially top 12. Freeling, Monroe Freeling from Georgia. He was a big riser among the linemen. Also, you got the Ginger Plow from Utah, Jennings Dunker. So those two guys, you may want to keep your eye on. They did themselves justice. And I don't even have to mention Ohio State boys. Ohio State boys showed out. Styles Downs and I'm the linebacker. I'm forgetting his name right now. They lit up the 40. They lit up every athletic drill you could do. Vertical, launch it, like they just all tested off the charts to the point where you can see 4 Ohio State guys come off the board in the top 8 or 9 picks, and it's crazy.
Yeah, man, it's one of those things where right now the top of the draft I think is unlike what we normally see. And Jay will tell you, it's like defensive tackle, quarterback, wide receiver, defensive back. It's going to be a mixed bag this year, especially when it comes to the top 10 of the draft and what they really need. We're not going to see a lot of people reach for quarterbacks in that top 10. We already know who's more than likely going to get one. Mendoza right there, going to Vegas. I don't see them trading out of that pick. I feel as though that would be completely asinine for the Las Vegas Raiders with a new coaching regime, just trying to make some waves. Tom Brady in the, higher ups right now, and the brain trust of the great Al Davis. Somehow, some way, figuring out, let's get one of the most plain, milquetoast, normal, thank you, Jesus, quarterbacks ever since Tim Tebow to lead the way for the dirty, gritty, nasty, grimy Raiders of Las Vegas. I think it's a turnover. I think it's great. Jay, when you saw what we saw last week, there was so much going on, so much parity in this year's NFL draft combine. Like, what stood out to you, bro?
Man, I'm gonna say, Bobby mentioned Jennings Dunker, man. That's gonna be the most famous mullet. His mullet is gonna be famous for itself. Like, before he goes and starts power driving dudes, like his mullet is gonna be like one of the most famous mullets we ever seen in history. You know what I mean? But everybody's talking about the stud of the draft, which we probably say Jeremiah Love. Where can he go? He's not gonna fall. We had the fastest guy at pretty much in the combine, which was Mike Washington from Arkansas. You got Brennan Thompson, pretty much he was the fastest wide receiver. Excuse me. Brennan Thompson was the fastest in the combine at wide receiver. You had Mike Thompson. He did, 4.3. Of course, everybody's talking about Kenyon Sadiq from Oregon. Like, these guys, man, and I joked around before. It's like watching a bunch of super soldiers, actually in this combine, man. You talked about the Styles boys. We talked about another tight end, Eli Stowers from Vandy. These guys, when we talked about a mullet, we talk about a stash. We talk about Jacob Rodriguez, man, from Texas Tech. The Texas Tech guys who had a pretty good defense, man, this college, season, but you also got defensive end David Bailey. Yeah. These guys are all running like 4 or 5s as far as on defense. Come on, man. Like Sonny Dylan, Dylan Thiedemann.
Thiedemann out of Oregon. Yeah.
Dude, I like him. I'm gonna be honest. Like, I like this guy because dude had a 41-inch vertical. He ran a 4.35. You know what I'm saying? I just really feel like wherever he can go, you talk about the safeties out there in the league. Safety is a bit undersized from where it used to be. It's also my guy from Toledo. He's a stud. There's just so many studs. I don't want to just praise this whole field as if like this might be one of the deepest drafts that we've seen in a while. Not at quarterback,
overall talent.
Yeah, and just watching the combine in general, man, the combine is getting so much more attention. I'm hearing people cheering, I'm hearing people booing like it's a real game. You understand what I'm saying? Shout out to it was in Indianapolis, pretty close to Bobby, pretty close to Ohio, Columbus and Carson Beck getting booed. Like this is crazy. This is crazy, man, what we've been seeing at the combine. So yeah, man. I mean, it's just so many studs across the board, though.
I mean, in the end, one of the most, parodied or talked about positions no matter what, will always be the quarterback. Right now, we mentioned it, Heisman Trophy winner, perfect season having Mendoza going number one. But when you think about the second day guys, the third day guys that may be going to establish teams with starters and will get the opportunity to sit behind established professionals, those guys oftentimes make an impact 2 to 3 years down the line. And we got to talk about, Nussmeier out of LSU. Of course, when we think about him, the 2026 all combine team, we thought about him. We thought he was going to go out there and light it up. Now, don't get me wrong. His footwork was flawless. One of the most accurate passes this past season. We're thinking about him being a day two guy. Ty Simpson, I think maybe last year, Ty Simpson was, if I'm right or wrong, y'all can let us know in the comments.
You're wrong.
Ty Simpson's out. Yeah, where is he going to go?
No, he's going first round.
He's going first round?
He's going first round. Ty Simpson did himself a serious service this weekend. Mm-hmm. If three guys really helped themselves, I think Ty Simpson, his combine helped him get into the first round, at least the late half. Drew Aller. His combine got him into the third round. He's going to be a day two guy. And really somebody I don't think a lot of people talk about. You talk about that guy that could be a project and to develop. Talon Green, Arkansas. Mm-hmm. This kid showed up and showed out.
6'6", 227.
Yeah, broke several records, 4.37 40, 44.5-inch vertical. Set a record for quarterbacks. This kid, if you want to take a guy, he could probably be there. I think he could go as high as the third round, but I think more realistic, he's looking at 4 or 5. And if you're looking for a guy to just kind of sit behind, I could see a team like maybe Philly, man. Let him come sit behind Jalen Hurts and develop this guy. You could have in about 3 to 4 seasons. Mm-hmm. You got something.
Maybe not right now, but
he could be on that Malik Willis career path. So
it's a project.
Hey, and Malik Willis is going to be one of the ones we're going to get into later when we bring up free agency. Big shout out to Living Up Promo. Make sure you guys, if you got a minute, you're going to check out Living Up Promo, one of the biggest supporters of the show, because we're going to definitely talk about them. But now we got to bring in one of my favorite guys from the RecRoom Sports crew. I mean, he works hard. He's got great bets. And if you ask him about living in an elderly facility, he's got some of the best reviews. He's going to talk about the Jell-O. He's going to talk about the best desserts, all the diabetic meals that you can ask for. It's our favorite guy, your favorite guy one day, Uncle Scott Cole. Uncle Scott, what it do? Uncle Scott, you muted. That old people stuff. There we go. Scott, you on?
Technology is crazy, ain't it?
Oh man, yeah. We're gonna get Scott in just a moment. Don't worry, because he's gonna give us some of his takes from the combine. We're gonna get the kinks worked out. Yeah. But Scott, we appreciate you. Let's get you together. But
why you do that? Let me read Mr. Derpy here. Hey, just because I'm on ESPN, don't mean I won't look you up and down and sideways like you're strange. Talking about my Browns and they got work to do. Mind you, sir, we had the defensive rookie of the year. We also had the defensive player of the year. Whoa. So watch what you say about the talent on my roster. They ain't winning a lot of games, but it ain't like we sitting here with an empty bucket, sir.
When it comes to these Browns, big shouts out to Game Time 216. My boy Mike. Mike, what it do? We see you in the comment section. We appreciate you. We appreciate everything you do. Watch out when you talk about these Browns, ladies and gentlemen. Uncle Scott, are we back up? Are we working? Right now we missing Scott. Scott, we're going to get you back in here, no worries. But of course, right now, one of the things I wanted to do with the guys is have a conversation about some things related around the world of basketball. Right now, there's some stuff that if you don't know, you wouldn't know. But if you're watching basketball like us, you should know. And we're going to have a Captain Obvious moment. Okay, so we're going to bring up a few things that you should know around the world of the NBA, and if you don't know, then we'll be informing you. But I guess I can kick it off, right? Okay, so gentlemen, if you didn't know, the San Antonio Spurs, they're going to win a championship. Okay, they're going to win one. Maybe not this year, maybe not next year, maybe, but soon. Okay. Now, if you don't know, for real, right now the San Antonio Spurs are out here living the dream at 44-17. Victor Wembanyama came from France and looks as though he's going to be everything that Kareem was late on in his career. He's there right now. Stephon Castle, is his backup right now. De'Aaron Fox, Darren Vessel, like these guys are a team today. But they were on an 11-game win streak and just so happened to play the New York Knicks in the Garden. Mm-hmm. And we were expecting one of those lifetime-changing games from Victor Wembanyama. And Spike Lee was there, Fat Joe was there, and they're salivating on the sideline, waiting for Wemby to do something. And the Knicks figured it out. The Knicks pulled him away from the basket. They involved him in multiple screens. They got him away from his usual routine. And the Knicks won. But is that going to mean that somewhere down the line we have to get a number 2 to Victor Wembanyama? I think that would be the point. If Victor Wembanyama had somebody to refer to all day long, then we would not be in this position. It's going to happen. Maybe not right now, because right now the Spurs are living it up. I mean, if you're looking at the standards, finishing somewhere in the top 5 is probably, not where we expected them. Maybe the top 2 or top 3. I think they can end up having a really good first round matchup in the playoffs. But as we sit here and look at it right now, the Spurs are making waves at number 2. Can they slide down maybe to 3 or 4 with a couple of losses and a couple of wins from teams like Minnesota or Denver, and maybe even the Rockets? It's a huge possibility. But right now, at number 2, I think they're living beyond the original expectation of the San Antonio Spurs. And that right there, ladies and gentlemen, is my Captain Obvious moment. You know what I'm saying? Give us a round of applause for, of course, the Captain Obvious moment. Jay, you know some obvious facts.
You know what? We've talked, we've joked. I believe we did our In the Hoop show, and we were looking at the Charlotte Hornets. First, I'm going to go to sometime during the summer. One Bobby G was telling us, man, this Con Knipple is everything, man. This Con Knipple is what's happening. He's going to be a great player. And we were like, if anybody can see my shirt, of course, if you got to be watching YouTube, I might have to color, but
Jay's taking my thunder.
I'm not a Duke guy. No, I'm gonna let you have some of that.
Scott's mic is working, ladies and gentlemen. The old folks home Wi-Fi was not working. But thank you, Scott, for joining us.
Keith Engel shut me down. I hate it.
Good. We got you, man. We got you in, though. Man, we laughed at, we pretty much said, I was pretty much sitting here with, Bobby, and we was talking about in the hoop, and he was saying much love the Con Knipple, man. He was giving him much praise, saying that, and this is before, I want to say game 1, he was saying Con Knipple is going to be it. I of course, I'm in my petty. He went to Duke. I don't care.
Nights, you win. You win the comments for the day, man.
Yeah, so, look, we talking about the Charlotte Hornets, man. We were laughing at their record, saying, man, they're gonna do something. And we looked at the record. It was, at the time, it was like 17, 11, and 28 or something like that. We was like, never mind. You know what I'm saying? And here we are today. Of course, they waxed your team last night with, and it's they pushed the panic button, man, and they got Jason Tatum coming in as reinforcements. Scott, do your thing, man.
They waxed my team as well, Jay.
Yeah,
That's fine.
I know. But you said I was stealing your thunder, so I'm
No, not stealing my thunder. We could do this together, Jay. So, Charlotte's only 2.5 behind the 6th seed, Philadelphia, right now. They're 1.5 out of the division. Does everybody realize that they've won at Denver since January 1st? At Denver, at the Lakers, at Oklahoma City, and at Boston, all since January 1st.
Wow.
If you're Detroit or you're Boston or you're a 1 or a 2 seed, you do not want to see the Charlotte Hornets in the first round. They will get out of the play-in. I firmly believe they will and get into the playoffs. But 4 guys, Brandon Miller, LaMelo Ball, Con Knipple, Miles Bridges, all averaging over 17.5 points a game for Charlotte. Con Knipple's shooting 43.6% from three-point range. That is unheard of for any NBA player to be doing that. He takes good shots. He's wide open. That offense, Charles Lee should be getting a lot of Coach of the Year talk right now. He is doing a fantastic job with that team. I'm very high on Charlotte. I think Charlotte can. I'm not saying they're going to win the NBA title. They can cause some major damage in the play-in and the first round of the playoffs this year to Detroit, Boston, New York, whoever it may be. And I think next year is the year you got to watch this team because this team's on the ascent up in the East. So
we're going to give LaMelo Ball some love.
LaMelo Ball, too. He's great, too.
The 1-foot jumper. Got it.
Yep. Yeah.
And I heard 30 feet on that corner. Whoa.
Now, thank you, Uncle Scott, for joining us again. Scott Cole is one of our main contributors to the RecRoom Sports Show. If you're not paying attention, we are live on ESPN 690 right now. And if you're not driving a vehicle, do me a big favor. Get on your phone. Get on YouTube. Type in at TheeRecRoom Sports Hub. That's RecRoom Sports Hub. It's a lot to spell. Follow us and watch us live right now. Bobby G, Captain Obvious, what you got, bro?
The person who should win MVP will not win MVP. Everybody's enamored with Joker. I mean, who you give it to every year, who's getting they're enamored with what's going on with SGA. But really, this race should be between Victor Wembanyama and Cade Cunningham. And neither one of those players will get to do credit and finish in top 2. See, just like that. Like these two guys are literally single-handedly carrying their team. Neither one has a certified second star. Now, you just went on the thing and you listed the Spurs roster. They super talented roster. But when it comes down to it, who is that number 2 guy? Who's going to step up and take the reins and say, if Wemby don't got it, I got it. And that's why they won't have the success that they probably should have in the playoffs unless somebody steps up and does that. You look at Detroit, same thing. Yes, they're having a good regular season. Why? Because they're playing everybody else. But when it comes to the playoffs and it's the Knicks, who do we play in a couple days? The Knicks. Oh, who do we play in a couple days after that? The Knicks. That's different. You need a second guy. And I'm sorry. Jalen Duren, I love his game. I love his hustle. I love his effort. You cannot give Jalen Duren the ball and say, go get me a basket. And you need that guy when Cade Cunningham doesn't have it. Just look at their last week. They literally almost should have lost to the Cavs without Donovan Mitchell, without James Harden.
Mm-hmm.
They did lose to the Cavs without Donovan Mitchell and just with James Harden. And James Harden didn't even play good in that game. Literally, our 4th best player led the team in scoring, and we were able to handle them because they don't have that second guy. And because of that, that extra just pressure of having to carry the weight, Cade Cunningham should be number 1 in MVP vote. And same thing with Victor Wembanyama on the other side, because if they don't have, just look what happened. You just said against the Knicks. Wemby had 25-13, and he had a minus 25 in that game. And they lost by almost 40. So, These guys are just doing so much for the team. But when you look at SGA, he's got Chet, he's got J-Dub, he's got Kaysen, he's got Isaiah Joe. You look at Joker, you know, he's got Aaron Gordon with the Celtics. He's got guys with championship pedigree helping him out, guys that have been there and done that. So, you know, but of course, one of those guys will win the MVP. And I'm not saying that they don't deserve it, but what I'm saying is there's guys who deserve it maybe just a little bit more.
Yeah, it's wild to think that somehow, some way, of the two names you just stated, there was no mention of Jaylen Brown. I can't get with that, dog. I can't. I don't know what's going on in the streets of Cleveland.
Because Cade Cunningham went to Boston and beat Jaylen Brown by 40. That's why.
Hey, real ballers go to sleep sometimes. And they fell asleep at the wheel, okay? I ain't gonna lie to you. I was watching it. Scott was texting me. They was down by like 30, okay? Joe Mazzulla hit her with the mental mind trick, the mental jujitsu, and figured a way to say, hey, look, we lost this one, but I bet you will in the next one. You know, we got the next one.
Looking like Kelsey Plum up in that joint.
Listen.
Shout out to Kelsey.
Yeah, shout out to Kelsey Plum.
At the worst, Jaylen Brown should be a higher candidate for MVP than he is.
I would agree.
Because what he's done this year. And Donovan Mitchell needs to be too, I think. Higher. Donovan Mitchell's like way off the radar. I mean, these guys need to be higher up. I'm not saying they're going to win it or they deserve to win it.
Right.
But Jaylen Brown needs to be at least mentioned in this conversation.
I agree.
And he's not.
For sure. You know, and out of nowhere, I feel like Jay is over there cooking up something very obvious. Jay, what you got?
Look, I mean, I'm big on. Of course, we talked about the Hornets. You know, we've talked about a few things regarding them, man, and y'all, you know, it's not because of Magic City Night coming up March 16th. Just letting y'all know, but man, them Hawks, man, I think those Hawks are gonna start soaring, man. Like,
say what?
Yeah, man. Jonathan Kuminga, who did not play last night, you know, and they pretty much laid waste, you know, to last night, and I just really feel, man, that they are. When you're talking about the Hornets and the Hawks, this is gonna be a race to some positioning that we've never seen, man, in the Southeast. This is the most excitement we've ever seen. We will see in the Southeast Division, man. I mean, we got Trae Young starting this week. We got him starting up this week, you know, and for the dub for Washington. But I mean, when you're talking about the Magic, when you're talking about the Hawks, and you're talking about the Hornets, like, I feel like the Hawks are the most athletic squad right now in the league. I just really think so. And, you know, Magic City Night, man. I'm going to say that again. Magic City Night, March 16th, for everybody. March 16th. You know, no, I'm not a Hawks fan. I'm
Wait. We got to put the bomb on it. What day is it?
March 16th. March 16th. But, yeah, you know, I'm a semi, you know, Hawks fan. You know, I've had season tickets. You know, I wanted Luka. I didn't want Trae. You see where we are now. Nobody had, neither team that drafted him, either way you look at it, has them currently. But man, seriously, the Hawks, I feel, are pretty much neck and neck. Like, time will tell. But I think the Hawks are going to make a run for the playoffs, and I think they can go deep in the playoffs.
And listen, I'm 100% with you right there. You know, my second Captain Obvious moment was going to be Jonathan Kuminga can play basketball. Duh, right? You know, straight out of the G League Ignite onto the roster of the Golden State Warriors, led by none other than the great Steve Kerr, who for some odd reason found a way to not let Jason Tatum play basketball with Team USA. He said, I'm just going to let you do the Jason Tatum in real life, bro. And we're going to leave it there. He got some run. I believe it's like 28 games. But to see how well he's playing for Atlanta right now, I don't see why that person could not have been in position to do well for the Golden State Warriors. Don't know why. Other than Steve Kerr didn't like him. The coaching staff said he doesn't fit the system. You can make all the excuses in the world, but if I saw Jonathan Kuminga on the fast break and I throw him the alley-oop and I saw him throw it down like he's been doing in Atlanta, I gotta. Hey, coach, put him in. Hey, I'm Draymond Green. I'm going. Hey, man, just go to the scores table, young fella. Go ahead and get up there. But either way, man. First of all, Uncle Scott, I want to say thank you for joining us today. Did you have anything else obvious to tell the people?
Not obvious to tell the people, but I just want to say I'm super proud of you guys. I'm super proud to be a part of RecRoom Sports. This is awesome. What's going on right now? I'm your biggest fans. I'm just happy to be a part of this, and congratulations to all of you. And I'm honored to be the first guest on the show. So,
hey, Uncle Scott, you got a key to the house, Uncle Scott. So whenever we break you out, we're going to send you a text. We're outside. Just get the wheelchair, roll it to
is
the
there
door.
any tapioca in the house, though? Is there any rice pudding or tapioca in the house that I can have?
We got little Debbie cakes. That's
Nice.
what we got.
I'll take them.
Hey, ladies and gentlemen, we appreciate you once again checking us out on ESPN 690 right here in Jacksonville, Duval County. Stan, we are in the Anajar and Levine studios today. Got to give a big shout out to Unique Trends and Styles, our main sponsor. Today's show is brought to you by them. Once again, in Orange Park. That's right, 266 Blandon Boulevard, Suite 8A, right next to City Thrift. Y'all know the City Thrift got that big store. Y'all can go over there and get some clothes and then go get a haircut. From fades to curls to coils to locks to wigs. What's going on, Sheree? Parents, relax. There's a children's play area. Bring your churn. Let them sit down. We're going to put on Coco Melon while you get a fade. Unique Trends and Styles. Enter a customer, return his family. We'll be right back. We got some bets. My guy, Tanner Dawson, is ready to bring it from the Basement Brood Fantasy Crew. We going to do it in just a minute. Thanks for checking us out. We'll be back in just a minute. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Back again from the Anajar and Levine Studios. It's your boy K Witch, your mama's #1 draft pick. It's the RecRoom Sports Show. I'm sorry, Freddie Coleman and Harry Douglas. We got to try a little something different today. Once again, back on ESPN 690. It's the gang. I don't know if you got a chance to meet us yet, but we got Jay on the MIC. Jay, what's good?
Man, it's all good, man. We good over here, man. Y'all can hear me, right?
Yeah. You good.
All right, man. And
Of course, we got Bobby G. Bobby G with a Jew. Okay. Cleveland, Vegas. We connected.
Houston, Atlanta, Vegas.
And right about now, guys, this is something that we do here on Rec Room, and I feel like it's a special thing. Every once in a while, on the weekends, we get a team of analysts to give us some of the best bets to put some money on each and every weekend between about the hours of 10 a.m. Eastern and maybe about 1 o'clock Eastern time. We got the guys with us right now. Tanner Dawson, straight out of Basement Brew Fantasy, along with our Uncle Scott Cove, and one of our friends we'll meet a little bit later, AP Alan Perales. We're going to go ahead and bring him in. Tanner Dawson, what it do?
What's up, guys? What's up, guys? Happy
Thursday.
Thursday, yeah. Happy Thursday.
Tanner Dawson, TD, my guy. Welcome to the show. Homies out, and we're going to get right into it. So, Tanner, we've been talking about some really good bets. You know, down here in Florida, we do Hard Rock. We got a lot of things we could really be getting into, especially when it comes to the sports books. I know you do this on the regular. Tell me what you got.
Man. Well, we got to start out with some college basketball tournaments that are going on. If you guys ever participate or get to chime in to Lock It In on the RecRoom Sports Hub here on Saturday mornings, you'll know that we love small schools. So these small tournaments that are going on are exactly up our alley here. So what I got for you, we got 4 tournaments that we're looking at right now that are ongoing. And we're going to look for some value plays that come with these tournaments and tournament winners. So these are more future plays, but quicker future plays than most, right? So let's start it off here. Okay, let's kick it off. American East Tournament. Okay, we're looking at the winner of this one. UMBC, right? They've dominated that conference. They've dominated the teams. But there's one team that has made them struggle this year inside that conference, and that is UVM or Vermont. Okay, Vermont's 2011. They're 9-6 on the road, 14-15 against the spread. But they've given UMBC the biggest test. They beat UMBC at Vermont. They lost to UMBC at UMBC 75-62 a couple weeks ago. But now it's time to win the series. And if you're going to look here for a good value play here, UMBC, I believe it was like -200. It's not very good value. Too much juice in the play. So we're taking UVM, American East Tournament winner, at +265 on most sports books, as you can get. It's a great value for the underdog. And it's March, guys. Got to remind you it's March. Anything can happen in the month of March, as we always know there in college basketball world. So that being the case, around +265 for most sports books. University of Vermont winning that American East Tournament winner. Okay. Next up, Big Sky Tournament. Okay.
Big Sky.
Otherwise known as Starch Madness.
Okay.
Portland State coming out of that conference. They've been great. They've been great this year here. And honestly, it's a pretty deep conference in this tournament too. Going into play. Portland State 13-5, 19-10, 8-3 at home, 8-7 away, 18. I can't remember what it was against the spread there, but I'm not going that route. I'm taking the upset here and we're going Northern Colorado.
Ooh.
Okay, Northern Colorado, they don't play till Monday. They got a really short path to the finals. Like, they have a really good setup for what they need to do here with a lot of rest coming into play off a long season. And you can get that at most sports books at plus 425 for futures to win the Start Madness tournament there, or Big Sky. So look, Northern Colorado guys would be a great value play there. Next up, one of our favorite conferences, the MAC. Of course, the MAC's going on because that's always a fun one to have. Football, basketball, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
But there's one team here. This is the one conference here, guys. I'm going to give you the most obvious answer to aim for because it's still really good value, and that's Merrimack. Merrimack has been one of the best defenses. You know, they have a great chance to just run the table, period. You do got St. Peter's there. You got Siena on the other hand. But still, I think Merrimack's just better overall. They play defense. They can score really well. They've proven themselves throughout the whole entire year. I don't see a lot of upsets happening here, but their odds to win it, despite being the favorites, is plus 310 on most sports books. So with that kind of value, I love that value that comes into play for an action. So give me Merrimack to win that tournament. And my final NCAA tournament that we're looking into is a show favorite on Lock It In. It's the Patriot League, of course, none other. Right now, Navy is by far the biggest odds to win it all. Again, too much juice to even bother with that. But there's a team. I'm going to give you the team that could surprise everybody in this tournament, and it's not American. You know, American guys, it is a show favorite team. A lot. They've struggled recently. They're kind of on the backside or back end of my picks here this year. But the team here, that's 15-16 overall, 16-12 against the spreads, that has a shot currently to upset Navy. They play tonight, actually, matter of fact, with a -5.5 favorite against Holy Cross. If you guys are wanting to get a bet in, that'd be the game to get in. That is none other than Lehigh coming in here for that big upset there in the Patriot League tournament. It's going to be a struggle. It'll be a tough one, but I think they get to the championship game. And most books are around plus 800, plus 810 for a long shot there. I mean, why not dab a little pizza money on guys, get a couple pizzas out of it. So those are our 4 big tournament future winners that we're looking at here as we start getting closer to the big March Madness tournament.
Wow. Okay. So we know that this is a thing you normally have a teammate in. So while we still got him in the background, we're going to bring in Uncle Scott Kolb. Uncle Scott, as we heard some of Tanner's bets, where are we with this, with the Lock It In crew?
I like them all. I think value is the big thing in betting. And I think Navy, again, they've been dominant in that league. Too dominant for me. You're not going to make any money off the bet. So a team like a Lehigh, an American, a Boston University, somebody like that is great value. And that's what I always look for in betting is to try to get the value. Because it's easy to bet a -300 favorite. You're not going to win any money. So what you want to do is you want to find the plus 100, plus 125, plus 200 somewhere in there. And as Tanner said at the beginning, March Madness is a strange animal. You see big upsets all over the place. So I like them. I like all 4 of them. I like all 4 of them.
Yeah, okay. Now, Tanner, we know how you do with the NBA. Do you got any futures for us to throw in there on the back end?
I do. I had I can't just focus on college ball going on right now. We got to focus on the pros out there. And at this type of moment in March, there's still a lot of value to go get in these futures as well. And I do got some futures here that come into play, right? Let's pop in to potential finals winners is what we're looking at, right? The champs, the guys who walk away with it. Let's start with the West here real quick. OKC Thunder, of course, they're sitting around 140. They're still plus 140 plus there. On most books, sometimes they're plus 150. Depends where you can get it at. SGA's back, guys. You guys already kind of talked about it too with the Thunder, right? Dort's been banged up, but he's still out there. They got all this depth they haven't even unleashed yet. This team could easily go back to back, I believe, too. But I believe there's a couple surprises in the West here that I actually like from a value standpoint. Also, some of these teams, they're going to be there, I think, in the end. Of course, the Denver Nuggets being one, Brown plus 600, so we can get them at Joker. Like, how do you bet against Joker, right? Especially if Jamal Murray is healthy, Braun's doing the same, death pieces are all around there. You got to look at that plus 600. The big one, though, the big surprise that you guys might be like, what in the world are you talking about? The Minnesota Timberwolves, ladies and gentlemen, at around plus 2,800 right now, value long shot. Now, calm down, guys, calm down. 5th in points per game, 13th in opponent points per game. Defense is being played on that team. The pace is 10th, so they run quick, they run fast. Defense is 9th best overall from a rating perspective. This team has good balance. If they can avoid injury, they can get past the San Antonio, Houston. They can make some moves here. We saw them last year in the playoffs turn it up. Anthony Edwards has nothing but gold in front of him. If this team can consistently play the defense they do and continue to put up points, they came back against Denver, I believe, the other night after being down 3 quarters to go win that game. So I think Minnesota here is a great value play. It's a team we should look out for to possibly win the finals if they can get past a couple of those teams there. 2,800, I'll take that all day. And to wrap up here, look at the East here. Look, I only got a couple teams in the East. All right. And they're not Detroit. I love Detroit. I love watching them. They're just too inexperienced.
What you got against Detroit, bro?
I got nothing against Detroit. They have the right attitude. I feel like, kind of back in the Piston days, 03-ish, they're starting to get to the attitude, not take crap. I just think they're too young right now to even bother with a bet here. The New York Knicks are New York. Why they say anything else to you guys? And sorry to the Miami Orlando fans. I just don't think they have enough firepower or to get into the finals. So with that being the case here, guys, it goes down to 2 teams for me in the East, and that's the Celtics, of course. They're hovering around 900, 1,000. And then on top of that, you have Tatum returning, I believe, this Friday. So they should be able to dominate the East. And then, of course, Bobby will be happy about this one. I like the Cavs still, plus 1,000. If they can get some injuries figured out, they've been beat up, they could take care of the East as well. I think they can make a long run in that play. So with those 2 teams, it comes down to that. If you're looking for a good finals value play here, those are the teams that you should be looking for on betting a futures bet for finals winner. That's what I got. Scott?
Scotty Doo.
Here's what I'll say about Minnesota. If Utah or Washington were in the playoffs, I'd be scared to death of Minnesota because they play down to their competition. They're not seeing any of those teams. They play up against Denver, against Houston, against these teams. I love plus 2,800. The one bet I made a while ago, and it's not a winner, San Antonio to get the number 1 seed. After the first game around Christmas time that they beat OKC, I took a shot on them to get the number 1 seed in the West. And it was plus 7, plus 800, something like that at the time when I took them. I just think that San Antonio's got something going on. I don't think they're ready this year to compete for the championship. I think it'll be next year or the year after. But I just like San Antonio now at the number 1 seed. But I love the Minnesota 28 plus 2,800. I think they could very easily come out of the West and make a run here. So
now, of course,
we don't have to say anything about the Celtics, do we?
No, we're going to save the Celtics talk for later. Me and you going to handle that, Scott. Don't worry about that.
Yep.
But, of course, it's wild to see the progression of the Detroit Pistons. It's wild to see what the Cavs are looking like. And I know that as we get deeper into or closer to the playoff picture, these are some of the teams that we're going to be focusing on in the Eastern Conference. But we're always in the West somehow going to have to mention Minnesota, Houston, and down at the bottom, we got to talk about the Lakers, But, hey, Scott, once again, thanks for hanging in there with us, getting some bets off. Tanner Dawson from Basement Brew Fantasy. Real quick before you go, Tanner, you look like you're a fan of Kansas teams. Is that right?
It might be.
That's fake. That's fake. He just wears that on shows all the time.
Nothing's real. Nothing's real here. I'm not a Royals, Chiefs, or Jayhawk guy. We got a lot playing for or get ready to start right now. By the way, Basement Brewed Sports is the new branding there. Mikey out there is killing it. If you're not following in his VIP league right now, you guys are missing out. He's had one losing day in the last 2 weeks here on his picks, and it's been great. It's been great. Shout out to Mikey in that, and I can't wait for football season to ramp up.
Oh, man. Yeah, we're definitely going to be here for it. So once again, thanks to the guys from the Lock It In crew. Uncle Scott, thanks for hanging around for a little while. Tanner, me and you, we got to talk. We're going to do this again. This is round 1 of several days in which we will keep it going. So, guys, one more time for the Lock It In crew for joining us right here on the inaugural RecRoom Sports episode on ESPN 690. And we out.
Yeah.
It's wild, right? Every once in a while, we got sporting events that we have to bring in really good analysts. And I've made some great friends. I've networked. I've met people. But the guy that I'm going to bring up in just a moment is one of my brothers. When I say he's one of my brothers, I'm talking about me and him sitting down, eating bowls of Cinnamon Toast Crunch and talking about one of our favorite things to talk about, and that's combat sports. This guy is my guy, and I'm talking about my man, Nick Bodkins, who is the host of his own podcast. We're talking about Nick Bodkins, the host of Head Kicks and Haymakers, who decided to take some time out of his busy schedule to talk about what's coming up this weekend with UFC 326, headlined by none other than my favorite belt in the main event. But before I go too far, I'm going to go ahead and do it. My guy, it's what it do.
What's good with you, baby? I don't eat Cinnamon Toast Crunch. I don't even eat cereal, but I always sit down and break bread with your brother. This is an exciting fight weekend we got here this Saturday. Live on Paramount Plus, UFC 326, headlined by the BMF, your favorite title, as you like to say. Max Holloway versus Charles Oliveira. We got two goats in the game, two of the best to ever put on the gloves. Two former champions, Charles Oliveira, the former lightweight champion, Max Holloway, the former featherweight champion, current BMF champion. This to me, this is the most intriguing main event that we've had in the Paramount era. So at the beginning of the year, this has been the best. This is the best fight we can, main event wise. Maybe not best fight, but main event, most intriguing matchup, because it's like, I think if Max can win, does he creep back into that title picture? It would be fun with him and Ilya, at 155. We saw at 145. I can't really say the same thing for Charles in this fight if he wins, just due to the fact that if he just got blasted by Ilya Taporia just earlier last year. But this card, while it's headlined by that, also has, also has some nice other, pieces. The co-main event, two guys in Caio Barrio and, RDR.
That's Bobby's favorite guy, Caio Barrio, right?
Yeah. As you said, Caio Barrio, co-host, my guy Bobby, co-host of Head Kicks and Haymakers, his favorite fighter. That fight is very intriguing as well. Both coming off losses where they did not look good at all. Caio coming off the loss to Imanov just last year, and RDR coming off the loss to Brendan Allen. Both of them did not look good. So this fight is kind of like, and both those guys were on the cusp of a title shot. Had they won that fight, probably were getting maybe a title shot. So now they're back down. So they're gonna face off in this co-main event. So it's very intriguing. Can either fighter bounce back and reinsert themselves into this title picture, or and where does the loser go after this? Because it'll be 2 straight losses, and it's like back down to the bottom of the middle of the rankings. So a very intriguing matchup. The card also offers young and up and coming fighter Raul Rojas Jr., 21 years old. Whit, I don't know what you were doing at 21 years old, but I can tell you what you weren't doing. You weren't fighting in the UFC at 21 years old.
Definitely not, bro.
Taking on the game that is Rob Font. And if you want knockouts, folks, let me tell you, the first two fights on the card, you're going to want to tune in because they're not going to last long. You have Drew Dober, two OGs in this game, two of the most veterans in the game in the lightweight division. Drew Dober versus Michael Johnson on this card, and then to open that fight's not going to last. I promise you, won't get out. We're going to see a finish. Probably won't see the third round. Then opening up the main card, you have Gregory Rodriguez versus Bruno Fiera, two up and coming middleweights. They're at the bottom of the ranking, so they're trying to work their way up to the top. But another fight that's going to be an absolute stand and bang fight. So if you want to see a couple people throw hands, you're going to want to tune into those first two fights. So I mean, this card is fully loaded with.
Hey, most definitely, bro. I wish I could have joined you and my brother Bobby yesterday on Head Kicks and Haymakers, so we could have definitely got into this. But like you said, as we look at the top of the card, and y'all know me, if y'all get a chance to check us out on Wednesdays, 9 Eastern on Bokens, Head Kicks and Haymakers, I like to look at the numbers. I'm looking at Tapology, one of my favorite sources for MMA information, and I'm looking at the numbers and see how the regulars of Tapology pretty much voted. So 3,776 people voted in the poll. And right now, for the co-main, 68% of them got Kyle Berharlo winning by decision. Now, I don't know if you have been living under a rock when it comes to MMA. Big shouts to everybody who's in one of these jiu-jitsu gyms around Jacksonville in the Duval County area. But Renier de Ritter quit.
Like, did he quit with, or did his body just fail him? I mean, we're talking a guy who that was his fifth fight. His fifth fight in a calendar year. And so we're talking body cuts. This is a guy who used to fight at, I think was one championship and was the light heavyweight and middleweight. So he used to fight at light heavyweight at 205. So it's a lot of body, a lot of weight cut in 5 fights in a calendar year. I mean, nobody's putting a lot into that. So maybe his body finally gave up to him. He does seem like he's coming into this fight in better shape. And wait, I love a good dog on the card. And let me tell you, RDR is my dog on this card. You can get him at plus 220 money, baby, on the money line. So give me RDR at plus 220 as my dog on this card. I mean, it's going to be barking on Saturday night. And in fact, the crazy thing is RDR has a good ground game. So if this game does go to the ground, by submission here, for RDR is plus 1,000. So why not just sprinkle a little bit of money on RDR by submission, because he could catch Kaio if it goes to the ground, because RDR's got that good submission game. I mean, this is a guy who we just saw, not too long ago, beat Bo Nickel last year, right? The highly touted Bo Nickel. Like, don't sleep on RDR. I'm telling you, I think his body did fail him last time. He seems to be in much, much better shape, like coming into this fight, got the weight cut dialed in a little bit better, obviously, so I think I'm going to give him a pass on the quitting on the stool from the last fight, and I think this one's going to be a banger.
Hey, man, just like you said, we know knowledge is power. So when you put that factoid out there that he's had 5 fights in the last calendar year, cutting weight, gaining weight, he went through a lot. So although I said he quit on the stool, let's keep it honest with each other. Y'all know I'm a big fan. I definitely have to agree with you. There's a possibility that after all of that work, he just couldn't take it anymore at the time. And we got to be honest. He's one of the guys from last year's season of MMA and UFC fights that we were looking forward to join the UFC roster. So I'm looking for him to make a big comeback against Kyle Berhalo. And Botkins, if you're going to tell us about the dog on the card, bro, I need the mask. I need you to give me the full Botkins if that's what you're going to do. And then most definitely, as I look here about the main, let me tell y'all something, guys. If you get a chance to look back on some of the past episodes of Head Kicks and Haymakers, this is one I've been looking forward to for a while. I didn't know who they were going to put in the ring, but for us to get two of the best in the game to go at it one more time and possibly, this is a legacy-changing fight for both Max Holloway and Charles Dubrox Oliveira. I'm excited because we're not going to see, if you know anything about UFC, we're not going to see any of that Dagestani wrestling for 5 rounds. No, sir. We're going to get a good slobber knocker. We're going to get pointing at the mat, 2 guys going head to head, making it happen. And I'm so excited about this. Real quick, before we bring in my guy, Bobby, I got to say, on the prelims, my guy, Cody No Love, got a new face tattoo. I'm looking forward to make some noise.
Wait, I think you mean Cody No Chin. So that's where we're at with Cody No Chin. I mean, for one night though, Cody Garbrandt was the greatest fighter on planet Earth. But
I'm sure
that was a long time ago when he was just razzling dazzling all over Dominic Cruz. But that was many nights, many years ago, many nights ago.
I'm telling you, man. Another MMA enthusiast we're going to bring in, Bobby G. Bobby G, as you look at the main and the co-main for 326 this coming weekend, it's a PLEs. No more pay-per-view, y'all. It's a premium live event. So if you got Paramount, you can check it out and view UFC 326 and all of its splendor. Bobby G, which of these 2 matches intrigues you the most? Uh-oh, you're on mute, Bobby. Unmute yourself.
It's the main, because it's for the BML.
Thank you.
Like, what is we talking about here?
Here's the thing, and I'm gonna be a realist. The title, who cares? But
they care.
They could have put this fight on without the belt. It don't need a belt.
They acknowledge it. When he challenged that man, what did he say? I'm challenging you for the BMF belt.
Hey,
he didn't say I'm challenging you to a Subway sandwich. He didn't say I'm challenging you to a bar. I'm challenging you for the BMF belt because I'm a bad. Shut your mouth. Who said that? Look at here. And here's my opportunity to do my best. Clubber Lane. Pain.
I live alone. I train alone. I fight alone.
That's what it's got to be the man. Well, these are 2 guys, and again, I defer to those who know more than me. I'm a novice UFC fan, but these are 2 gentlemen I actually enjoy watching fight. I'm glad they're getting it on to finish finish what they got going on. But another young cat, y'all didn't mention. I want to see. I want to see Dante Johnson. He's another young cat. He's got a fight on the preliminary, 7-0. He's up and coming, middleweight. I want to see how he develops, man. Because what we need in this game, we need more young stars, man. But UFC is a little, it can be top heavy sometimes, right? They got their guys they push for the cash and for the views and let's get some young guys, some more young guys up there, man. Fighting always has been, always will be a young man's game. Let's get these young guys up there and see what they got. Let's build for the future. Come on, Dana.
Hey, that's what we do. We definitely build it for the future with UFC 326 this weekend. And as we build going towards the future, Botkins, do us a big favor, man. Kick us some of your socials. Let us know where the people can find you so we can join you in all your splendor on some of the Botkins show and Head Kicks and Haymakers, which you feature our guy, the other Bobby, and me.
First of all, real quick, I'm picking Max Holloway to knock out Charles Oliveira. Ooh. You can get that at plus money at plus 165 as well. So knock it down, hammer it home. Max Holloway puts down Charles Oliveira Saturday night and still BMF champion. You can catch me on all my socials, the Bodkin Show. That's BODKINS Show SHOW, on YouTube and on Twitter and everything else. Facebook, Instagram. Follow me there. We're always putting out great content. We are live, Head Kicks and Haymakers, live every Wednesday night, 8 o'clock Central, 9 Eastern. So if you like MMA, we break down the fights, talk about who's next and all this stuff. Please check us out. So it's been a pleasure. Whit, you're my boy. Bobby, you're also my boy. Love y'all, bros.
Hey, of course, man. Botkins, thanks for stopping in. I know you got the busy schedule. Next time, I'm not letting you in unless you got the mask, bro. But guys, ladies and gentlemen, we appreciate you. It's the ESPN 690 debut of the RecRoom Sports crew on RecRoom Sports Radio. Got to give a big shout out to our main sponsor, Unique Trends and Styles, 266 Blandon Boulevard, Suite 8A, right next to City Thrift. Okay. Do you got locks? Do you got Wicks? You got to call Shantae. What's going on? Hey, we got to make sure we give a shout out to Biff the Barber. Biff, what it do? I see you, my boy. The host of Barbers are there for you. Bring the whole family. There's a kids play area. Even the game room is secret. You know, you got to be secret squirrel to get in the game room. But Unique Trends and Styles, enter in a customer, return as family. We'll be back. We're going to pay some more bills, and then we're going to kick it off, talk a little free agency, and get to the end of the show right here on ESPN 690 in the Anajar and Levine studio. Let go. That's right, y'all. We get into it right here on ESPN 690 in the Anajar Levine Studios. It's the boys from the RecRoom Sports crew. I hope you've been riding along with us this whole, hour and a half, 2 hours? Well, we almost getting 2 hours. Remember, if you catch in the middle or the end, you can always follow us on all of our social media platforms. You might as well start right at the base, right at the RecRoom Sports Hub on YouTube. That's right. That's at THEE Rec Room Sports Hub. And you can see all the stuff we've been doing. You can catch up on our last 5 years. I mean, Jay, we've been doing this for a little minute, right? I mean, we're not just novices. I don't care if you're hearing the echo or not. We're going to work that echo out. Big shouts out to Brian Middleton, our guy in the production room right now. I would not have been able to do none of this without Brian's help. So thank you, sir, for hanging out with the boy for today. Guys, we're getting it in. We did a little MMA. We did a little bit of that combine. Now this is one of those things we like. You want to know why? Because we're going to talk about that bread. That's right. We're going to talk about that money. More money, more money, more money. Free agency. Oh, my gosh. Yes. Players are getting cut. Players are being released. Players are being traded. And somewhere within the next week, we're going to be seeing those dollar signs flash across the bottom of the screen. We're going to be like, dang, they paying him that much? You know, and one player who just so happened to be already being paid by another team will just be going for the veteran minimum to a new location, possibly to sit on the bench and get paid close to $32 million just to sit back and hold the clipboard. But of course, he won't hold the clipboard, ladies and gentlemen. He'll probably be a full participant. We'll get into that later, especially if he's not playing Call of Duty. Anyway, Jay, Bobby G, we got the gang in the building, but we got to add one more. There's a gentleman who helps us out all the time, always ready to go, never says no unless he has to work. You guys have gotten the opportunity to see us spread across the nation. We had Tanner Dawson. He's in Kansas. We got Bobby G. He's in Cleveland. We got Uncle Scott out there in Boston. But wouldn't you happen to know we got a real live Oklahoman in the building? One time for our guy, Rookie of the Year candidate, once again, Alan Berlez. AP, what it do?
That joke will never get old. It'll never get old.
Hey man, Alan, we appreciate you all the time for coming in to do what you do. Of course, you're part of the Lock It In crew. You come join us on Tuesdays. You join us on Fridays for In the Hoop, which we will be talking basketball a little later. What is it that you don't do?
Right now, work. That'll come soon though. That'll come soon. I'm excited for that. So
hey, don't worry, man. We got Jay over there. Jay has a great eye for resumes. Get that resume tightened up. We're gonna get you a new spot. I promise you. But again, man, welcome in, Alan. We appreciate you. And we're gonna do our little dance right about now and talk about this free agency. Now, guys, right about now, $300.2 million is allotted in the cap right now for the NFL. A lot of players are going to be traded. Some people will be getting to that bag. Others will be relocating across the country. And it's going to be a couple names that we recognize and a few that you wouldn't think after putting out a productive season that they are not going to be on their respective team again. They're not going to pay them. They're going to get franchise tagged or maybe even released. It's a lot to go over, man. But, of course, I got the gang in the building. We're ready to go. Bobby G, Jay, AP. I even think we got Uncle Scott somewhere. You know, old folks just lingering around. I love it. Where we at right now with free agency, with some of the news that's been coming down the pipe for the last 2 days?
I think the biggest surprise for me out of this whole period is that the guy who just won Super Bowl MVP is going to be a free agent.
Wow.
That you talk about how good Kenneth Walker was. We haven't seen a running back have that type of performance in a Super Bowl really since Terrell Davis back in '98. One of only 7 running backs, I believe, this year to break 1,000 yards for the season. And Seattle's decided, no, we're not going to give him the franchise tag. And now he's going to be out there on the open market. I know I've heard a couple teams that have been interested. Obviously, the biggest one in the last couple days has been the Denver Broncos, who people have said to come out and said that they're interested in going big on a running back this offseason. But yeah, Kenneth Walker, it just seems weird that a Super Bowl MVP is not going to be playing for the same team the following season. I mean, well, unless you're I don't want to bring up bad memories, but we'll save that for another day. But yeah, it's just fun. I just find it weird that a guy who had that great of a performance, well, one is not going to get paid by the team he was on, but is also just going to be finding a new place to call home.
I mean, yeah, I think the other day, Jay and I were having a bit of a conversation, and if you get to know us a little better, guys, Jay is our guy when it comes to fantasy football. Jay, you were telling me something about Kenneth Walker and his unavailability, if you will, from time to time in the past.
You made one up. That's good. You know what I'm saying? But he in previous seasons, man, and I think that's something that Seattle's building the case on is the fact that, he hasn't had much availability as you would think from a number one running back. I mean, we have a lot of 1-2 punches when you talk about Charbonnet, they added him to the roster. But if you really look at it, Kenneth Walker hasn't really been as durable throughout the season in previous seasons. So, yes, you don't want to get rid of just let someone walk with that type of talent. But, when you look at the Seattle Seahawks and what could be in their position when we're talking about they're selling the team, anytime you're selling a team, it is a big possibility that they will definitely shed any high dollar player. And when you're talking about the defense and all the signings that they have coming up, everybody off of defense that they have lined up for new deals, I mean, he pretty much was a casualty of it. And when you look at, again, health, his availability, Kenneth Walker's the odd man out. He's been the guy in previous seasons that has not been as durable as everybody else on the team. So, yeah, fantasy-wise, he's let me down. I've stopped drafting him. Like, I stopped dealing with him because, like I said, I said 6. Give me about a good 9 weeks tops. And I'm being pretty generous when I say that about Kenneth Walker and his availability during a not only an NFL season but a fantasy season. So yeah, it's tough. It's tough. And for North Florida, Jacksonville, we're looking at as far as a free agent. There's a lot of questions about Trevor Etienne, man, and it's with everybody who's been talked about, the whole Kenneth Walker news. You kind of look at will they bring back Etienne? I'm very curious with that.
And as you say, Jacksonville, Etienne, I would be remiss to not do this live on the air. And y'all know what I'm about to do. Jacksonville, let's do it on 3. 1, 2, 3. Duval. Hey man, that was perfect, guys. Awesome time.
I should have did Cohen's Duval.
Duval. That was a little too zesty there, Alan.
Yeah, what'd you say, boy?
I said that was a little too zesty there, Alan.
Yeah, Bobby G, man. Free agency on your end. Cleveland is probably locked in on a couple of the moves, especially with their latest coaching regime. What's going on in your mind for the foreseen future?
I get it, but before I get into that though, I just on Kenneth Walker, like it shouldn't be surprising though. He's not really one of the top backs in the league. Running back still is a devalued position in the league,
right?
And he's not one of the elite guys. I mean, he was 16th in the league in rushing, didn't even lead the team in touchdowns. So yeah, he had a great Super Bowl, but he's not a 3-down back. Hasn't been a 3-down back so career, split carries, and that's kind of the cost of being in that running back by committee system, right? Is when it's time to get paid, you're usually not going to get paid. So that's I mean, hopefully he'll end up in good situations. He's a good player. I mean, he's got his ring, so now it's all about just getting paid, right? As far as Cleveland, with the trade that we just made with the Texans, we picked up a right tackle. It's definitely a position of need for us. We only had a couple of linemen under contract. We're pretty much rebuilding our entire offensive line. 2 first-round picks, so I could see us finishing building the O-line in the draft. I would like to see us target maybe a vet wide receiver in free agency.
There's one that is actually free in relationship status and free of a team, apparently.
I don't want that guy. I'm cool on that guy. Unless he happens to get back together with Cardi B. Now, if he gets back together with Cardi B, I may become once again a season ticket holder to the Cleveland Browns game.
Hey man, she gonna bring that baby. She gonna wrap him up in a parka and be right there.
We gonna leave that baby in the play area. She needs to bring. She could bring the wagon. We're gonna leave it right there. We're gonna leave it right there. I'd like to see us go after Alec Pierce, wide receiver from the Colts. We need to bolster our wide receiving room. I think somebody like him, he can be a solid addition. I just see him being just somebody consistent, no matter who we have at QB, whether it be Shador, whether we address that position in free agency, whether we address that position in the draft. We're going to need some guys that whoever our QB is can depend on to catch football and make some plays. So I'd like to see us attack that more. Just get some playmakers in free agency. Again, I like the trade that we made to bolster the O-line. That takes a little bit of pressure off of what we need to do in free agency. But for sure, now let's get a playmaker or two.
I'm with you on that one. And this is where I was going to just throw this out there for you. One of the players that I have been I kind of like, I always wanted to be a tight end. Y'all know what I'm saying? I was a big Jeremy Shockey guy back in the day. You know what I'm saying? A big Gates fan back in the day. Y'all know what I'm talking about back when we had Antonio Gates as in the Chargers uniform. That was my dog on Madden. But Cade Otton out of Tampa Bay. No David Njoku, right? You got to find somebody to play tight end. Well, why not get a pass catcher?
We got Harold Fanning. He's going to be tight end 1.
Tight end. Yeah, you need tight end 2.
Yeah, we just need a second. I mean, a lot of people kind of point to Isaiah Likely, being that Todd Monken is our new coach. Obviously, he was the OC in Baltimore, so there's that relationship there. I wouldn't mind that at all. But yeah, he'd be a great pickup for us. I think our second tight end needs to be more of a blocking than receiving, but definitely, you want him to have some hands. His Fanning, you say he's not a block. He gives max effort every play, but you got to get his grown man strength up. So while he does that, we need a second tight end who can definitely provide some blocking support.
Hey, for sure. And gentlemen, I don't know if you see our guy Allen, but I believe he's a Cowboys fan. And right now, the George Pickens people, all of my Dallas fans, George Pickens is right now under the franchise tag. He will be paid a whopping $27.3 million in one salary year. Breece Hall is right up under that with the New York Jets. He'll be getting $14.3 million. And then what's a good word? The there but not there sometimes. Kyle Pitts, Falcons. All my Falcons fans, champ, what it do? Atlanta Falcons go on $15 million for Kyle Pitts. That's another one in fantasy. I don't know, all my fantasy people out there, when you draft Kyle Pitts, Cross your fingers that we get. Okay.
That may not be a bad idea this year. Kevin Stefanski loves to utilize tight ends.
We're expecting a lot from the Falcons, and I'm hoping to get into that later when we bring our homie Champ. Champ will be in next week for a short segment to talk a little bit more football.
You know what I've been Googling, y'all?
What you been Googling, bro?
I've been Googling gamer lounges in Atlanta. Man,
is Magic City one of them?
No. I'm gonna leave that alone for right now. But nah, seriously, man, Kyler Murray to Atlanta was always an idea of mine in the past as a trade. Now when you're talking about being released, and can they keep him focused? And that was the reason why I started Googling gaming lounges in Atlanta. So my whole thing is, hey man, talented player. We talking about a lot of weapons on offense, whether they make it happen or not. What is that? He said 2 teams. Minnesota's might be one of them. I would imagine Atlanta being the other. I really would. I do imagine Atlanta being the other, but by the looks of all these gaming lounges in Atlanta, they're gonna have to keep them focused, man. That's the main thing.
A lot of those in Atlanta for sure. They mentioned George Pickens earlier. It's interesting because not many people know what type of franchise tag he's actually on. Because the talk is, they're paying him all this money and whatnot. It's a non-exclusive franchise tag, is what it is. Meaning teams can. He's still technically a free agent. Teams can still go out there, talk to him, give him an offer and whatnot. But Dallas has the opportunity to match the offer. Mm-hmm. And if nothing is done by the start of July, which I believe is when the deadline is, then he'll just be on the tag for the year. But there's still that opportunity that another team can still sign him if they want to. The problem is they'd be giving up 2 first-round picks as part of that deal. So that's the thing that's probably drawing people away from George Pickens is the fact that you're going to have to give the Cowboys 2 first-round picks in the deal if you do make him an offer and the Cowboys can't match it. Kind of the similar thing we're going on with Brandon Aubrey at the same time as well. But it's more significant with Pickens because, I feel like he's going to get an extension at some point. It's going to happen. I don't think he's going to be playing on the franchise tag this year, whether he's playing for another team or whatnot. It's a win-win situation for the Cowboys. Unless it gets past July, it's a win-win situation for the Cowboys where if he leaves, you still get 2 first-round picks out of the deal. But if you're able to extend him, you could save some money on the cap to go help your defense out.
Speaking of defenses, right? Somewhere in the wind is the idea that Trey Hendrickson and Cincinnati cannot meet in the middle. He's 31, coming off of muscle surgery, having an explosive year prior to last year when he was holding out. It's kind of the end of Trey Hendrickson time in Cincinnati. And I don't know if you know, but Jacksonville, Duval County, Clay County, Trey Hendrickson was working out down here during his little holdout. Where? I could tell you, but I'm not going to blow the secret because it could be, related to some of the officials at that school. But Trey Hendrickson, during the holdout period last season before he got franchise tagged, was spotted in Jacksonville, breaking a sweat, keeping in shape. So it'll be exciting to see where he may head as the money begins to roll out. But every time, Jay, Bobby, and I, and Alan, I saw that Alan, kind of get into this conversation, we always bring up the QB carousel. That's right, the quarterback carousel. It spins around and around. Where it stops, nobody will know. Kyler Murray, like you already brought up, Jay, will land somewhere and he will not have to get paid top dollar to be a backup. But then you got names like Kirk Cousins. We really don't have the idea of what Aaron Rodgers will do, and that will play a huge part into what a team like the Pittsburgh Steelers will do in the future, because of course everybody knows Aaron Rodgers' original choice was to try to get back, or not back to, but back in the division with Minnesota, and then Kirk Cousins being released by Atlanta. Like, where's Kirk O'Chain's gonna go? You know, and last year, having had closed out the season on a high note, you know, it showed that Kirk Cousins still kind of got it. But then when it comes to some of the high value skill players, you know, we got Alec Pierce out here in the wind. You know, is this the year that he gets his big payday? We're waiting to see. But once again, you know, Malik Willis, another quarterback, you know, what's going to happen with him? Last season in Green Bay, he did the thing, came in, pretty much gave them a great idea of what he can be into the future, because, you know, under Matt LaFleur's offense, he was styling and profiler. And you know, from going from Tennessee to Green Bay to possibly leading a franchise in the upcoming season is one of those things we got to take into effect, because everybody is going to be looking for that reclamation project. I mean, who just won the Super Bowl? The Seattle Seahawks, I mean, you know, and who was their quarterback? Somebody who floated around the league for a few years before he got to the Super Bowl. So what if we could do that with a young guy like Malik Willis, maybe Kirk Cousins, or maybe even a young Kyler Murray when the new Call of Duty isn't out? I think that's one of the biggest things, or will be one of the biggest stories this offseason as we start throwing that money around for free agency. Hey, man, look, you know, the thing I love about the older generation is that they don't go away. Uncle Scott, you said you got some free agency thoughts. Go ahead, kick it for us while we got some more time.
Can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. I went back to my old computer. Malik Willis is going to Cleveland. It's a done deal. So Malik Willis is in Cleveland. Bobby likes that deal too.
You said you go onto your old computer. You got your old Linux server out. You got Windows 98 on the screen.
No, I got AOL, that dial-up stuff. You know, remember the dial-up and the stuff like that. So
what they don't know, it's not a computer; it's a Rolodex.
It's a Rolodex, yeah. Kansas City needs a running back. So I think Ken Walker or Travis Etienne, one of those two, are going to go to Kansas City if the Chiefs can't get Love in the draft, which I don't think they're going to.
Not Travis Etienne. No.
It's possible. Kansas City needs a running back desperately. And Ken Walker or Travis Etienne are the top two out there right now. So I think one of them lands in Kansas City. I think Pierce is going to stay with the Colts. I think the Colts are going to either franchise him or find a way to sign him. The one guy I would watch out of Indianapolis is Michael Pittman. He could be traded or cut, one of the two. So he might wriggle free. Stephon Diggs is going to end up in Pittsburgh, I think. It's just that's what it seems like to me. He's not going to end up in Cleveland. He's not going to end up – he's going to take a short deal in Pittsburgh. He's not going to be paid $20 million. It's going to be more like a 1 year, $10 million contract, a prove-it deal. So, Mike, I knew Mike would chime in. I think Trey Hendrickson watch is on. Max Crosby trade watch could be on too. Those two guys right there are going to set the market for everybody else in free agency. Every other position, every other deal. So, and then the one guy I mentioned is Malik Willis. I joke it's Cleveland. Could be Miami. Could be Minnesota. Could be Atlanta. Could be the Jets. Could be anywhere. So that's the guy I would watch the quarterback was.
So Ty Simpson was in Cleveland today.
Oh, he was?
Yeah.
Okay, so maybe Cleveland's on to him
for his
24.
For their top 30, Ty Simpson and Carnell Tate were both in Cleveland today.
Okay. Oh, wow.
You think Simpson's the 24th pick, Bobby, for Cleveland?
I would not be mad at that as long as we secure our line with that first shot. I wouldn't take him at 6, of course, but
Right.
you know, once we secure up the offensive line, I'm good with whatever.
I mean, you know, the securing of the offensive line is what Cleveland is going to focus on, I'm sure, and I'm definitely with that. And I see out here, we got our guy, Mike from the Man Cave. Mike, what it do? We appreciate you. No QBs for Cleveland in the draft or free agency. Let me tell you something, Mike. It's a guy on that roster by the name of Deshaun Watson. He is holding up all of the QB talk right now. And in my mind, we got Shador. But somewhere in that offseason, I would not be surprised if that name arises from the ashes and the massage table, and all of a sudden we get to hear about Deshaun Watson, joining the active roster and playing. Yeah, I know. I'm sorry, that might have been in poor taste, but it's real facts. Deshaun Watson, before all of the controversy, before the money, this is kind of like 3 years removed now, was a MVP quarterback. He's on the roster. You are paying him so much that they haven't cut him yet. I think we will hear a little bit about either him moving or him actively being a participant in the number 2 spot in Cleveland. And you heard it here first.
Here's the one thing that I want to say. Teams like Cleveland, the Raiders, the Texans, they need to build their team from the line out, not these skill position guys, from the line out. And that's what they need to do to get better. Because if you don't have a line, there's no way that Quinshon Judkins and Travis and all these guys and Montgomery can run through and be successful.
I don't disagree.
And then DJ Moore got traded today. That's a big move for Buffalo. They now have a receiver that they can rely on. So,
yeah, of course, because we know receivers in Buffalo oftentimes have an issue.
Amari Cooper. See Amari Cooper.
It's
It's going to be interesting, Scott. I agree with you on Kansas City going after a running back, but I think that's also why the Broncos are jumping in as well to go get a running back, is because they realize Kansas City is going to be doing the same thing. So it might be a divisional battle there between the Broncos and Chiefs to see who gets guys like Travis Etienne or Kenneth Walker on their roster.
Those two guys are going to get heavily overpaid by these two teams because they're scared of each other getting the one of the other. So Walker and Etienne are going to get overpaid in free agency, I think.
Both Walker and Etienne will get overpaid in free agency. I can't wait to see the results. And, of course, being here in Duval County, I hope that we get the opportunity to keep Travis Etienne throughout his career. He's been one of the biggest offseason stories since, the Jacksonville Jaguars pretty much exploded last season under Evan Coleman. And the team has never looked back. And I can't wait to see what Travis is going to do. What's good? Anybody know Travis Hunter? Shoot him a text. Say your boy K-Witt said, get back soon. We ready. Gentlemen, we appreciate you. Alan, Scott, once again, Uncle Scott, thank you. Alan, sure. Tell the people where we can find you at on all your socials and what you're doing.
So for me, you can find me at April 30, basically everywhere: TikTok, X, Instagram, Twitter, all that good stuff, YouTube. Obviously,
and we're going to find you on the mat with one of our biggest supporters, our guy, Sam, the largest Tennessee fan in the world. I can't wait to get Sam on the show. And we're going to have him wear his boa, too.
Which, by the way, that show is now moving to his channel, Fanboys Unleashed. So that'll be moving to his channel. I believe we're going to do a show maybe Saturday or Sunday night, recapping Raw and SmackDown. So it should be fun times.
Hey, man, WWE is the ESPN property, so we got to cover that. All right. Alan, Scott, thank y'all again. We're going to be back again with less issues and more sports next week. Appreciate you guys for being in the building. Man, Jay, Bobby, We working. We right there. Top of the hour. I'm not even going to worry about what's going on. Brian's giving me the thumbs up in the production room. We might as well go ahead and do what we were going to do. It's the last out. We going to come back and we going to throw it out there. So look, as we do what we do, March Madness, the brackets, they're going to be coming out on Sunday, right? Chad Baker Mazzaro of USC. What? Have you heard the news? The young man could be 30. But he gets released from the USC basketball team, and out of nowhere, we get all kinds of stories about what could be happening with him. And it's technically just because he's been around a lot. He's might have had multiple issues on multiple campuses. And Bobby can tell you from his research, it just looks like he's at the end of his rope. You know, and for me, this is one of those things where I can read the rumors, but I gotta definitely say, if you've taken the opportunity to make money, play basketball, go to school, and you didn't use it to your full ability, I'm sorry. I have no remorse for you. It's unfortunate that the rumors were out there as if, you know, he's 32, he's got kids in the Dominican, but hey, it is what it is. Jay is wild because you was reading it with me, right?
Yeah. You said, never mind. We are on the air.
Yeah.
When you said kids somewhere, I thought about something to myself. I don't know if you're familiar with Steven Jackson and what he said when he played outside the United States. But anyway, it was a very eerie scene, man, when we're looking at him sitting away from the team. You know, the answers that Muscleman pretty much came out with. It was just a lot going on with that. I mean, they said he was 32 years old. Like, I'm like, dang, you know, he's really 32. You know what I mean? So, of course, who knows at this point, because there's so much craziness going on. But I guess he's confirmed to be 26 years old. Regardless, I mean, he could have played for Auburn last year, if you ask me.
Right.
But you know, it's sad, you know, because that's the leading scorer. He's leading in a lot of different statistics, and you know, you're going into the March, you know, you're going into the tournament, or you're going into that part of the season, you know, without your leading scorer, man, and just the circumstances revolving around the situation is just madness.
Yeah. Speaking of madness, we normally do something at the end of the show that we refer to as a slice of life. And as you get to know the Rec Room Sports crew, we have a lot of fun. We talk about sports. We got to talk about a little bit of life. And when we talk about life, we got to throw it to the homie. Las Vegas is home. Cleveland is home. Bobby G. Take it away, bro.
It was good. First, I'm gonna start off by saying, number one, get your tissues ready. But I'm gonna dedicate this segment. I want to dedicate this segment to my best friend who passed away, Shaka EK, his brother who's no longer with us as well, OBK, their brother and their father, Solex and Casey EK. And I also want to dedicate this segment to our brother who was just here and his wife, Mr. and Mrs. Scott Cole. About in 2003, early 2003, I had an opportunity to go to the Super Bowl. I was in the Air Force at the time. We used to volunteer for Broncos games. And at the end of the year, we were able to then volunteer at the Super Bowl. So January 2003, I was able to attend the Super Bowl. I was part of a team that secured the halftime show and the post-game trophy presentation, the trophy presentation and the MVP presentation. During the day, we would rehearse. So, you know, we rehearsing how it goes, we set stage up, all that stuff. But at night, we would do security for various events that would take place throughout Super Bowl week. After one particular event, we had a shuttle that would take us to and from the hotel we were staying at, and I'm like exhausted. I'm exhausted. I'm ready to go to sleep. We've been up since like 6 a.m. It's like 2 a.m. I'm ready to lay it down, and I'm standing there waiting for the shuttle bus, and I hear this voice, and I'm like I know that. Like, why does that voice sound so familiar? And I look to my left, and it's Stuart Scott. Yeah, Mr. Cooler than the other side of the pillow himself. And I'm like, yo, I say what's happening, shake his hand. And as I'm waiting on the shuttle, maybe took like 5 to 7 minutes, and he had a genuine conversation with me for that entire 5 to 7 minutes. Like, he didn't make it appear as if I was bothering him or annoying him, and I wasn't fanning out. It was just a genuine man-to-man conversation. And at that time, I was like, I wish I would have had this presence when I was a kid. And what I mean by that is, as a kid, and I'm going to date myself a little bit, as I'm now in my 40s, there wasn't a lot of representation on TV for guys who look like me doing what he did. I mean, I used to watch the sports reporters and Jason Whitlock was a guest on there a lot. But, he was older. He was further along in his career. Stuart Scott was, to that generation, a representation for the youth of that time. And I just wish, I'm like, man, if I had somebody to look at like that when I was a kid, maybe after not succeeding in athletics, I could have chose a different path. That could have been something I could aspire to. And I say that to say, don't give up your fight. Like, I am in my 40s. My voice is being heard on ESPN radio. And forgive me if I get emotional. I don't care right now. Like, no, there's nothing nobody can say to dampen my light, dampen my mood. I am on ESPN radio right now.
We on ESPN, bro.
Yeah, let me finish my spiel. And I just want to say thank you to you two gentlemen for making me a part of your journey. I want to say thank you to anybody who's ever helped me at any point in my life along the way. Thank you to Scott. Thank you to AP. Thank you to Bodkins. Thank you to Big Mike, Jay, Scully, Network 216. Thank you to Dan Harris, another one brother that we lost. That is the reason why we're all here together. Mm-hmm. Like, thank you to Rudy Reyes. Some of you know him, some of you not. This is a guy that I look to for advice. His journey in broadcasting started in his 40s. Like, no matter what you do, what you want to do, or what you think you can or can't do. One of my favorite quotes in life is, whether you think you can or whether you think you can't, you're right. So don't ever let nobody tell you you can or can't, what your limitations are. Do you, and be proud in doing you. And make your dream happen. And since it's almost that time, I feel it's only fitting to just end it with the late great Jimmy V, man. Like, don't give up. Don't ever give up.
Never.
Because it's never too late. And any time can be your time. Again, I said this on Game Time 216 the other day. I didn't start this podcast journey with this being the end goal. The cards just happened to fall my way because I ran into you gentlemen. So don't stop doing whatever it is you want to do, because the route may not always be conventional, and the universe will take care of your path for you. You just have to be willing to accept that path. So that's it, man. That's all I got.
Man, let me tell you something. We here. ESPN 690, RecRoom Sports crew keeps it real. I don't know if you felt that through your radio, through your computer, through your phone, but Bobby G just let us know. God is amazing. We didn't do this by chance. We did this through hard work, and I gotta send a special shout out to two people. Jimmy Verreau. Jimmy, what it do? I met him on accident. He turned into like my uncle when it comes to radio. Used to be in sales right here at Cox Media, but due to some health concerns is no longer with us. But that doesn't mean his spirit doesn't live on right here in this radio. He's not gone or nothing. I mean, he just at home. So shout out to Jimmy Verreau. And of course, Chris Godotis. Chris, thank you. Brian over there, my guy, thank you. And once again, ladies and gentlemen, this was awesome. We will do this even better the next time. Jay, you want to say something sad real quick? No?
I'm all out, man. Y'all did it all for me. Thank you.
Hey, man, it's 6:30. We did it. We way over. But, once again, get on YouTube. Do it for us, please, at THEE RecRoom Sports Hub. Like, share, subscribe, and catch us next Thursday between the hours of 4 and 6 p.m. where we going to move Freddie and Harry over just a little bit for one day to make room for the boys for RecRoom Sports. That's it, family. I don't know what else to say. We out the door. Peace. We appreciate you.